to Directly to You, episode 11. That's right, it is the 11th entry in our weekly podcast right here on youtube.com/fanatixfour, soundcloud.com/fanatixfour, iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, everywhere else podcast services are available. You might know something we don't know that, you know, it's out there. And hi, how are you?
Hello.
What you been up to as far as gameplay? Like, what you been playing this week, basically?
Nothing really. I mean, my weeks are weird now. Like, especially today, the day that we record this, Thursday. My Thursdays are shot. Like, I just resigned myself to having to do multiple like long sessions of just talking.
Streams and all that.
Yeah, I've
stuff.
been streaming with Dan from that Cyber channel. Go follow him and subscribe and all that good stuff if you haven't already. And today, because we're working on a video, he played Bubsy, this Bubsy fan game that it's a mess, and there's so much like there was so much wrong with
Bubsy himself
that.
is a mess, so I
Yes,
imagine.
very true. But there was so much wrong with that game that had nothing to do with the game itself. And that was the only thing that was like catching my attention. Like, Dan is like, look at this. This guy's like clipping through the floor and like the jumping so weird and all this other stuff. And I'm like, but the text bubbles though, look at these text bubbles. These people need to take a graphic design class. Like, you know, like that's the type of crap that I was getting mad at. But we played a little bit of Mario Kart. And I mean, that's been the bulk of my gameplay. I played a little bit of Cluster Truck too. Which is an indie game it's published by Tiny Build. They sent us a code. I've been checking that out. It's cool. It's a fun little like one of those games that's like, oh, but I gotta beat this level, like that sort of thing.
Right.
It's
like a Super Meat Boy or something like that.
Yeah, but more like it feels kind of like a WarioWare mini game sort of situation.
So it's on that level. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
like
all
but
right.
it's like just a WarioWare mini game but extended. The whole thing of the game is like you're walking on trucks and it's this first person game and you got to get to the goal, but the goals, I mean the trucks collide and sometimes you got to jump from one platform to another and there's like obstacles in your way and stuff. It's crazy.
Oh wow, that's sweet. That's funny. Sounds like a lot of fun. For me, I haven't really been playing much this week either. I played a lot of Monster Hunter today, just like solely just today, when I haven't been as far as like every other day. This has like been the only day I really sat down and gave it some time. Yeah, other than that, really not much. I played Smash yesterday. That was something. Getting back into that thing. A little rusty, but you know.
Yeah, I at this point I don't know if I'll ever play Smash unless I play it on 3DS because I'm not my Wii U's in New Jersey and I'm not buying another one.
But yeah, so mild gaming from us just a little bit. What about you guys? What are you guys' gaming ventures lately? Let us know in the comments, or you know, just or don't. But anyway, if you don't feel like sharing it, it's fine. But you know, one thing we can all, you know, agree on is that we're all Nintendo fans here. And speaking of that, what does Nintendo have left? First topic of the discussion.
It's crazy. I would have never asked that. That's a good question there, Logan.
I try sometimes.
No, but yeah, a lot of people are like since before this year even, they're like, oh, how could they ever top Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild? And it's like, little did they know, it just took a logo and an Inkling's eye to top that.
Right.
As far as excitement goes, I mean, it's hard to really think about what they have. And I mean, when I say that, I mean like more than just what we know about already. Because like we know Pokemon's coming. Like that'll definitely be a bigger deal than like even Smash Brothers in terms of sales. But like the stuff that we don't know about yet, like what haven't they announced yet out of their IP that could even like come close to that? Like
it's definitely like huge and it's been like big as far as like their moves lately. But I definitely believe obviously we can't pinpoint or say what exactly, you know, but it's so early on, especially in the life cycle of Nintendo. I mean, as far as
yeah,
the Switch.
I mean, when I say this, I don't mean like try. I mean, that's a lot of like what irritates me about the conversation about Smash Brothers, which we'll get to. I don't mean to say like this is definitively what's going to happen because I'm an industry insider. It's just like, what IP do they have that you think they could just pull out of their back pocket and say, oh, but this game, you know, like that sort of thing. Not necessarily like, or even if it's a new IP, or a new twist on an old IP, stuff like that. Like, what do you think they could possibly do to rival something like even a Metroid announcement?
That's pretty tough. That's really pretty tough. I'm honestly not sure about that because like I don't know what they could necessarily pull.
Realistically, we know about a lot of the stuff that like would come to mind for me. Like we already know they're working on an Animal Crossing game. Like we know that.
But would it have that same kind of like
for
reaction?
Sure, right? For sure. That game's going to outsell that. Yeah, that game's going to at least outsell Metroid. At least I think it probably will do better than Zelda. Too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because I mean, if you look at the games, I think Animal Crossing.
Maybe that's just me. I'm out of loop on the Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it's just like a game that you don't really pay attention to.
Right.
But that game's a big deal. Hold on, wait, I can pull it up. Talk.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really follow Animal Crossing. So it's like that was just a thing that was like, okay, you know, I had no idea it was even like that kind. I mean, I knew people liked it. Obviously, I knew it has its core. I didn't know it was like that level, like one of their like main runners type of thing. Yeah, I had no clue about that.
Yeah, it's a.
I thought it was like around the ballpark of like Metroid, something like that. I thought it was like there. You know what I mean?
No.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, here we go. I'm pulling up top sales per platform. Animal Crossing New Leaf on 3DS sold 11.59 million units.
Damn.
Yeah, that outsold Smash Brothers on 3DS.
That's crazy.
Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So
that's crazy.
Pretty big deal. In other news, Pokemon is ridiculous. Pokemon has the number 2, 3, 4, and what is that? 9 slot for the top best-selling games on 3DS.
Pokemon's freaking is just a phenomenon, especially for like Pokemon handhelds. Like they sell like hotcakes, of course. You know what I mean? That's not even a shocker. But Animal Crossing, that was crazy.
Yeah, Animal Crossing is crazy. It's a big deal. So I think that will be a game that, I mean, they didn't really announce it, but they announced that they're working on it. So, and also they said that like the mobile games that they're going to put out have some type of like tie-in with other games, which is why I made like that Mario Kart video. Which I guess, I mean, that's another thing that like they didn't necessarily announce. Like they could do that where it's like it's a new Mario Kart game, or even a big like add-on, like a Left Behind sort of situation, or what's the new Lost Legacy for Uncharted, where it's like a new game but not really a new game sort of situation.
Right. The whole 0.5 thing type of thing.
Exactly.
We've seen a lot.
Oh my god, I hate this so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me see the other IP that they have that we haven't really seen anything from in a while. I still hold on to the fact that I want them to work on an Ice Climbers game. Because I think that if they did that with like modern sensibilities and it was just like this new thing and like completely unrecognizable from what Ice Climbers is now, you know, like in the way that they did with Kid Icarus, like Kid Icarus Uprising.
I'd be interested in seeing where they took that. I think that'd be a pretty good one. Kid Icarus as well. I think that'd be pretty cool if they could like reinvent that somehow.
The easy one. I think a big deal. Probably not like on the level in terms of like not on the level of like Smash or Pokemon in sales or anything like that, but in a hype. If they announced a new Mother game, I think that would. That'd be a story that took for a while. Like I think people would be attached to that. They'd be so hype to that because Yeah,
Like,
and I mean that's another game that for a long time, because like when we started talking about Smash Brothers, right, and everybody in the comments, armchair developers and stuff like that, like Sakurai said he's not going to work on that, you know, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, is he not, you know, like that sort of thing, where it's like, and on top of the fact that like Nintendo owns the IP, so if they want a new game in their franchise, they're going to put out a new game in their franchise.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, and then there's other people that their response to that is like, Nintendo's going to respect his wishes, and it's like, yeah, I guess. Question mark? Why are we still getting Kirby games if that's the case? Or like, why is Sakurai still making Smash Brothers? If it was just this simple thing of like, Sakurai doesn't want to do it anymore, he doesn't want the franchise to continue, but if it's going to continue, he's like, I might as well be the one to do it. If that was the case, if he wanted to be done, why isn't Nintendo just like, all right, Smash Brothers is dead? You know, like that's not how corporations work. Even one that has a public facing reputation like Nintendo, where it's like, we care about our employees, which I mean, clearly they do, but not enough to be like, yeah, we'll throw away this freaking breadwinner for our company. We won't have any more of these games.
Yeah, man, it's like the show must go on, you know?
Yeah,
that
exactly.
type of thing.
Like, with or without you, you know?
It's going to go on with or without you, yeah. It's like, that's just how it is. We see that in so many other places when it comes to businesses and whatnot. It's like, just, you know, gotta keep the gravy train rolling, and you can't be mad at them for that.
Yeah, you know? like what's the guy's name? Inafune for Mega Man, where it's like, even though he had way less to do with Mega Man than what he leads on to believe, like he was like a character designer or something like that. But they're making Mega Man 11 without him, you know, like one person does not make a game. And I mean, gaming has like this huge reputation for thinking that it does, like the like, I don't want to say that word, everybody, family friendly, the adoration that people have for Kojima specifically, where it's like, oh, if Kojima's not working on insert whatever game, then it's not going to be as good, you know. And Kojima obviously is good at what he does, but there's a lot more pieces to that puzzle than just him. Like,
people are forgetting that there are teams behind these things, and it's like, yeah, like, yes, somebody could be a huge component to a particular thing, but there are people who that can take from and like learn off what he did, and there's a whole group of people working on it. It's not just one person. So yeah, that could easily be. I don't think for a second that, you know, Sakurai just was like, okay, you know, Smash, I'm tired of it. You know, I love it, but I'm tired of it. I want to, you know, I have no doubt that the games following, and I do think there will be games afterwards, would be good. I'm not like, oh, Smash is crap now. Like, I'm not going.
Smash is going to die, because we don't even know how involved he is or has been with a lot of different things. You know, like, I mean, we know, like, for a long time he's been really hands on with like balancing specifically, where he's like, he wouldn't even let them, like Bandai Namco, they help with the game or whatever. That was like completely his thing, you know, like he's like, no, I'm going to handle the balancing, you guys just do the grunt work, where it's like, I'm going to play these games, see how everybody mingles with each other, write out notes, and then you just put in the ones and zeros. It's
kind of like how people like attribute GT for being like, it's just not good because Akira Toriyama, you know, but forgetting that he like okayed almost everything in the show.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that people didn't like was his idea to begin with.
Right.
But
and forgetting that Super has some terrible writing in it. But aside from that,
everything in Dragon Ball has terrible writing,
like
except
that writing
for maybe Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is probably the best written piece of the whole thing. I think if I could, like, and this is a tangent, like this is a crazy tangent. Yeah. If I could make like the best possible Dragon Ball arc, it would be Dragon Ball, like the entirety of that,
right?
Z up until Frieza, and then it would just be over. Because like that's the most coherent, like,
right, because it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes
beginning, a middle, and end, and everything has a purpose. Everything after Frieza is like random bad guy. That's some type of amalgamation of what Frieza is, plus insert random attribute.
I'm gonna totally put a timestamp here, just for like this random Dragon Ball.
Random Dragon Ball Z tangent.
Yeah, I think the new movie looks as from what I've been hearing about it, like as far as like the direction they're taking, it looks pretty interesting. I'll say, as far as like the premise and like the like the background of it, because it seems like to tie into the whole Frieza thing in the sands. That looks pretty cool. But yeah, most of the Super, especially this whole tournament in Super, it's the writing is wow.
Dragon Ball Super.
That's crazy.
Like if nothing else, Dragon Ball Super has made my disdain for Dragon Ball like that much deeper, because it shows me how dumb Dragon Ball Z and GT, and to a certain extent Dragon Ball even, really is. Like, people give him so much, like give Akira Toriyama so much credit for like being this like literary genius, where it's like he came up with he came up with like a couple of really good characters. Not really good characters in terms of being characters, but like iconic, like we like these characters, they look cool. But pretty much everything beyond that is like throwing stuff at a dartboard and seeing what sticks. And we're probably going to get a lot of angry comments about that, but fight me.
Yeah, that's just I don't know. I really can't predict where that's going to go. And speaking of predictions, somebody from Discord asked a question about predictions, and it pertains to Inklings in Smash Brothers. What is their moveset? What are our predictions for their moveset? What do you think, bro? As far as
I think I saw somebody comment on, I don't remember what video it was, but somebody said on some type of video somewhere on social media, something where they're just like, Inklings in Smash Brothers, what would they even do? I'm like, are you stupid? Like, there's so much they could do. Like, I think that they would probably be more of like a Mega Man-esque character. Like, as far as like most of their moves would be projectile based.
Definitely.
I don't think that it would necessarily have to be entirely that. Like, they could easily do like their melee attacks, or like either the ink brush or the roller. Right. I think their specials could be like, I don't know. So it's one of their specials would be like going down in the ink. Maybe that's their B button. And then when they fill up their ink, and press B again, then that's some type of like, I don't know, like the what's it called, Rainmaker. So Kirby can have his little like interaction with that. Because like, what would Kirby do with a full ink tank or whatever? And then beyond that, like forward and B, maybe that's the like what is it called, the charger, like maybe that's what that is. Up and B, I don't know, I guess that's their like the squid jump that I never use.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Yeah, squid jump that'd be cool. Did you already say neutral B? You said B's like they,
neutral B, but like them going down in the ink, or maybe down B would be that. I guess that makes more sense.
I see down B being that, and then B's being that grenade we saw. That'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be interesting. But yeah, they could probably do a lot. They could do a lot of stuff. I think their mechanics would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, like you said, like then their final smash is like probably. I mean, there's a lot of different options for the final smash. Realistically, they could really stick with a lot of the different specials. It just depends on what's the most iconic, like most used special. Which, I mean, Nintendo would have that information. I don't. As far as like what's the most used special, whether it be like the Ink Zuka or like the Ink Missiles, or the like the roller, I mean the baller, like all those different things, and whether or not it would be something from from Splatoon 1 or Splatoon 2, who knows?
Right. Yeah, who's to say except Nintendo? That's very true. Like what's the most popular special among the Splatoon players, and we'll use that one, you know, whatever. Like who knows? Yeah. But speaking of Smash and for Switch and Inklings and all that, my video this week, what'd you think? Thoughts?
I'm really tired of this discussion. As far as like, is it a port? Because like there's so many people that are just like so ready to like beyond a shadow of it. Because like the main thing for me is like the only thing I'm pretty sure of is that they're using assets from the last game, which to me, in my opinion, makes it a 4.5. I think that it's easy for them to just call it a 5, and then everybody, because that's what they want, that's what they're going to say. I'm on board with that, because that's what it's called. It's called Smash 5. But for all we know, they're calling it Smash 4.5 themselves. Just like they called Mario Galaxy 2 Mario Galaxy 1.5. You know, like Nintendo even walks into game development like, hey, this is just going to be this one thing. And then they add more and more to it. And then they're like, this is enough where we can justify calling it 2. Like, that doesn't mean that they put the amount of work that they usually do into a sequel, but it's enough that they can pass it off in marketing as a sequel. And anything with a 2 or a 5 or whatever the next number in the line is, that's what's going to sell more. So if they can justify it and say this is a 5, you know, like, of course they're going to do that.
Yeah, if it pushes the point where it's like, okay, you know, no amount of like DLC on the original, the predecessor could, you know, this right here, this is, we push a point. Now it's a sequel. People are going to kind of gobble it up.
Yeah, and it's just like And this isn't even to say like that beyond a shadow of a doubt. I think that it is a port. As far as like I could be wrong on that because we haven't seen gameplay.
Right.
Like, all I'm going off of is the fact that I see the game. I see that the marketing looks very similar and the art style looks very similar to the last game. And that has never been the case for a Smash Brothers game ever. Like, even from Smash Melee to Brawl. With that minuscule power difference, that has never been the case. And here, with the switch to Wii U, they're going to do that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But again, like, if I see gameplay and then the art style is demonstrably different, and the game pacing is different and balancing and stuff like that, it's like, all right, clearly
that'd be weird. But I mean, it's not impossible, but it'd be weird to see that.
Why do you think it would be weird?
Like, well, I mean, as far as like the aesthetic. Like being you see, like the trailer looks one way, then having the gameplay look.
Yeah, exactly. Because like you can tell that Brawl looks like Brawl even in those like cinematic trailers.
Right.
So and even with Smash 64, you know, like you can tell that okay, this is what the art style looks like in like the opening cinematic and stuff like that. Right. So like that alone is like this is definitely a 4.5 at least in function. You know, like you may want to call it Smash 5 and they may call it Smash 5, but in terms of like the how the game is made, it looks like a Smash 4. I think there's a lot of stuff that they could go either way in terms of like oh, we added a lot of stuff, so we're calling it Smash 5. They added a lot of stuff to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, just as much stuff as we're saying we want to add. Because what are the bulk of people saying that they want in Smash 4? They're saying they want new characters. They're saying they want reworked characters. They're saying they want new mechanics. They're saying they want new modes. And they want new stages. We got all of that and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Literally every single thing that I just named we have in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Every single thing. There's new modes in the battle mode. There's new stages again in the battle mode. There's new characters. There's new mechanics. There's new and by mechanics I mean the extra boost when you drift, the double item box, and like there's so much more added to that game, but yet and still support, you know, like just because they came right out and said that was a port and they're not coming out and saying Smash Brothers is a port doesn't mean that Smash Brothers isn't a port, because they have two different audiences. Like the people that are buying Mario Kart are not the ones that would be checking freaking Mario Kart Dojo, you know, like they're not gonna they don't care about the marketing machine. Like Smash Brothers fans would be disappointed if they came out and said. And even you were on that boat until you realized, like, oh shoot, they can do a port and add a lot of content. Even you would have been disappointed if they said it's Smash 4 Deluxe, right? So of course they're not going to do that. Of course, if they can like reasonably pass it off as a new game, they're going to want to do that. Right. But again, and that's not me saying that it definitely is a port. That's me saying that it seems more like a port. I'd be happy if it was a new game. Until I see the game, in my mind, it's the path of least resistance. You know, like the one that's the Occam's razor thing. You know, like the least amount of things you got to explain away, the better. Because there's a lot of like small little details, quote unquote details, that people are like, oh, the logo is vaguely different. Clearly a new game. You know, like, but the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe logo is different from Mario Kart 8's logo. Like. It's just like I get that everybody wants a Smash 5. I understand. I want it too. but that doesn't mean that I'm willing to like throw away all logic in the process.
Right. Yeah. We just gotta. I guess we just gotta wait and see what they reveal. I'm real curious about it. You bring up some good points. The aesthetic is very, very similar to Smash 4. Yeah, I just want to see what they give us. Jesse Gibbons.
This is a novel.
Wrote a. I was gonna say he wrote a book. He said, I talked to some people at my college who were saying that who were playing Smash 4 Wii U. I asked them what they thought it would be. They answered, certainly that it's a port, most because of timing. I asked what would make it a new game and not a port. They brought up the difference between the N64 title and Melee. Supposedly Melee was going to be a port. Then they added so much stuff it became its own thing. I asked how long it took to turn Smash 64 into Melee. They said 2 years. I asked how long it has been since Smash 4. Apparently 4 years. It sounds to me like they had enough time to make a few new features, but probably not make it as different as Melee. I brought up a good idea of re-examining movesets. They said it will almost certainly happen, and pointed out the Breath of the Wild link and the introduction of new moves in Mario Odyssey as evidence. They said re-examining movesets would make it a new game. I asked how many characters movesets would they need to be re-examined for it to become a new game. They answered just one. If I understand them correctly, if Hal replaces Mario's Fire Flower with Owen Cappy, it will be a new game, not a port, according to them.
Like, so much of that stuff feels like grasping at straws, you know? Like, obviously, again, like, it's in their best interest to make every game seem like it's a new game, you know? Like, nowhere...
It just works. It works for marketing. Because, like, it's... Yeah, like you get a taste of like, okay, been there, done that type of thing, you know, with an old and a rehash, basically. Even if it's a prettier rehash, like, okay, I've been there, done that, you know, he added new things, but this is new, and it you know, it's it's ubiquitous, you know, as everything, everybody does that, you know, everybody, you know. Halo 3, not Halo 2, Halo 3, you know, it's like, it's the same thing, you know.
See, this just brings up all the stuff that annoys me about this conversation. Because like so many people are like, again, with the grasping at straws, they're like, but companies always reuse assets. So with that logic, that's like me saying that because you always need to take a nap after you come home from school, that everybody always needs to take a nap after they come home from school. You know, like Smash Brothers has never reused assets up until this point, except for, ironically enough, in Smash Brothers Wii U and Smash Brothers 3DS, obviously. So because other companies have done it in the past, that means that Smash Brothers Sakurai just woke up and was like, wait, we can make a new game with old assets? That's a thing we can do? Oh my God, I never knew, you know, like that whole thing. It's like, and it's not it's not out of the realm possibility, but it's just not a plot. It's not, you know, it's just based on what we've seen before. I think that line of thinking, like the oh my God, we can do that's definitely out of the realm of possibility. Like he knew that's a thing that you could do.
I mean, obviously, but as far as him, like,
I mean,
you know,
they've done it with like certain Kirby games, which are like obvious, like this is connected to this, you know, or like Mario Galaxy and stuff like that. Like this is obviously a spin-off of this line of thinking. But with Smash Brothers, up until now, they would completely throw out the game and just say, okay, we're rebuilding this completely from scratch. You know, like there's very little differences in terms of like Mario's moveset, for instance, between Smash Bros 64 and then Smash Melee. The only thing that they added was like the over B stuff and like stuff like that. I mean, not over B, like the smash attacks. So like, I don't understand what people are trying to say here. like where it's like, okay, why didn't they port over assets if that's what they were doing, right? Where it's like it's the same assets and stuff like that, and that's all you had to do is add some new content to make it a sequel. Why would they rebuild from scratch for that game? Like, or even the example that a lot of people are bringing with like tripping and Brawl. You don't have to like completely redo the engine to take out tripping. If it was a solving problem thing, they don't have to change out the assets to do that.
Right. Yeah, you don't got to change the whole entire framework of the game. Just take out one part. They yeah, that right there. That's really weird to me too. Like I said, like you know, and we don't know. They very well could have been like, you know, for this one, let's just, you know, make,
yeah, for sure.
You know,
they definitely could have.
But it's just,
and that's what I'm saying. Like,
but based off what we've seen before, it's like, why would this be the anomaly here? And then in this case, why would it be?
It's just like I'm on the side of like not necessarily deliberating one way or the other until it's out.
Right.
The only reason why I'm so vocal about it possibly being a port or likely being a port is that everybody is so convinced that it's not, you know, where it's like, hold on, you know, like that hasn't been confirmed. There's very little proof that that suggests this. It's just little things that you're extrapolating on because you want it to be true. Mm-hmm. And that's just nonsense.
I seen a footprint over here. It's gotta be Smash 5.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
something
I
crazy.
downloaded the source code of this video and there was a 5 in the Smash Brothers font. So that means that it's Smash Brothers. It's just like, it's stupid stuff. The copyright info was the dumbest thing that I've heard. Like, it says 2018 HAL Laboratory. Like, yeah, that's how copyrights work. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. People over here, like, real detectives, like sleuths and all that freaking.
Because like even if it was a thing of like them filling out a new trademark, like if all they wanted to do was change the name of the game to Smash Brothers for Nintendo Switch, they would have to fill out new trademark information for that. You have to fill out new trademark information if you change the color of your logo.
Oh man,
it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, that's why I didn't reach for it. I was like, none of that like stuff in order to back up my points in the video. I was like, based on the timing, I mean, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities of this being a new game. That's why I wasn't like, hey, the copyright, the title is, the S is slightly to the right on this one.
There's no fire in this S, and there's lines through this logo.
Right.
This is Smash Brothers, the podcast 2.0, but we're probably going to talk about Smash Brothers a lot throughout until it comes out. So
yes, so be ready for that. Also, what people should be ready for is Pokemon, and you made a video about that, and it went up. Well, yeah, today at the time of this recording, but yeah, I liked it. I like when you brought up being able to create your own trainer. And that was something I liked a lot.
That was like a minuscule part of the video, and I knew it was going to be your favorite part of it.
I like creating characters. You knew that. Yeah, I think that's really a good idea that you put on there as well. Also, I like how you talk about circling back to Gen 1 and not saying, oh, we not have to we don't have to do that, but I think that would be.
Yeah, I just think that people have this thought process of really anything, where it's like if you change.
I'm sorry, but also like when you said the deal, like the downloadable additional parts, as far as like getting on the eShop, having those add-ons, as opposed to getting a you know what I mean. You wrote the script. You know what I'm
yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking about.
But no, like a lot of times when you suggest changes for anything, as you know, people just think that it has to be like this permanent. Like you have to write everything you do in permanent ink. You know, like there's no way to like include everybody in with changes. Where it's like you can optionally do this and also do this. You know, like that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then when you present for a lot of people, their counter thing to that is like, oh, well, yeah, options take more work, though. And it's like, yes, turns out a multi-billion-dollar corporation is expected to do work. You know, like.
Right, shocker.
It's weird. Like, what lottery did Game Freak win that they still have, like, this underdog, like, reputation? Like, that's so weird to me, where it's like, Game Freak is just this small company. How would they ever achieve such high feats? You know, like, that's like ridiculous to me. Where it's like, Like nobody had that attitude with like No Man's Sky, right? Like that's a company that had 12 people in it, and when that game didn't like come through with its expectations, like people were so mad. Like it was just like, you should have came through on this, despite the fact that all facts said that this game would not be what we think it is, you know. But Game Freak is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and they have access to anybody they want. So
right.
if they wanted to make a Witcher-sized game, you know, they can make a Witcher-sized game.
Yeah, I like how. I definitely agree. Like at this point, they should be. They're proven at this point. They're tested. You know, they've been battle tested. They're ready. Like I don't see why, you know, they don't have to limit themselves to anything. They can take it literally to the stars, and you know, wherever they want to take it.
Yeah, I mean, even if they like pass off a lot of like the heavy lifting to other companies that do have experience with that, like if they passed off their terrains to like Monolith Soft, if they're like, all right, we're going to like draft out what we want the regions to look like, program all that crap, and do it that way, and then they just handle like the battle balancing and like the character creation and
stuff. Turn out fine. Yeah, they could outsource a lot of this stuff and still have it come together nice, and people will eat it up, ourselves included, obviously. But I really like back to your video specifically. I like when you talked about like I said earlier, but I didn't really know how to explain when you brought up how like just like how they did Fire Emblem and they had the additional, but doing that for just different like regions or different parts of the game in order to remedy the fact that, you know, we're not getting we might not get like the two $40 games as opposed to getting this $60 massive. I really like that point a lot. That was,
I mean, especially
great.
If they want to do
great.
the 2 version thing, because that I mean, if they want to do that and they also want to make this a $60 game, because like realistically, Game Freak is not going to pass up Nintendo. More importantly, it's not going to pass up the chance to charge $60 for Pokemon. Like they're not going to do that. They're charging $60 for Kirby. They're not going to charge $40 for Pokemon.
Right.
And if they want to release 2 versions for $60, I'm just going to go past that. 2 versions for $60. They're going to want to add a lot of stuff to that game, to both games, to really separate them. Or they could do this and then, like, you know, incentivize people else, like other ways to buy the game twice.
Yeah, because it's just a good strategy. It's a good, because like the whole for, you know, for the people who are like you know, I'll get this one, and then I'll wait a little longer to get the additional. Cause I don't see like you said, $120. That's a, you know, like people like, you know, it's steep, right. People are like, I don't know about that. Yeah. It's difference between like, okay, 80, but 120. That's like, geesh, you know, that's like,
that's 3 digits. Pokemon. That's 3 digits now.
I love Pokemon and everything, but dang, so you know, and all, you know, for all you kids out there that don't have any jobs yet, you know, your parents on you know,
I mean, see that was the thing though. Like if I was a kid, this would be out of the question.
Right.
You know, like I wouldn't even consider having both. Like I just recently started getting both. You know, I mean, there will be times where like I'll get another one for Christmas or something like that. But usually at launch, I'm only getting one.
Right, at launch,
but now,
then you're waiting for the price to go down, like as some of you kids are, because your parents aren't.
Yeah, 15 years from now, when Pokemon games, their price, they totally go down. Matter of fact, Pokemon is still like Smash Brothers and Pokemon both are games that like Bob does not own Smash Brothers. Like
what?
The original, he doesn't own Smash Brothers.
Oh.
And they still have all their games, so it's still blasphemous. And he wanted to try to buy it, and it's like $50 still, like used. And like Smash Melee is like $30-$40, and Brawl is like $30-$40. You know, like Pokemon is another one of those games.
See, all those are warranted to me. That definitely warrants that price. Just because it's like it's timeless. It's like and it's like the quality is there, and I don't think it should depreciate as far as it's just greatness. Like, you know, it's like it is what it is. What it is. Smash is just like, it's one of those things. Even Zelda to a lesser extent has that kind of effect. You know, I don't see
I mean, all Nintendo games really,
Right.
unless they flop, they're $60.
Unless they're Star Fox. Boom punch.
Oh.
No,
That dropped in price almost immediately.
Yeah, no, I'm hurt. That joke killed me inside.
It's truthful though. Those are the most painful jokes, the ones that are true.
But speaking of killing insides, I don't know what the hell I was going with that. Vincent Allen said, "Great video. Where do I start? I would love the option to completely customize my trainer. Thank you, Vincent. I said the same thing. Expand even more by giving them certain traits you can increase. Ooh, I like. Okay, all right, skill tree, like being a breeder or evolution specialist, etc." There's a continuation. Okay, I gotta scroll down for this. Now I think that's a great way to sell the game in reference to the two different games. I definitely get both, but I typically do anyways. Okay, Mr. Rich. I just want a game that grabs you into the actual story and keeps me occupied for more than 15 to 20 hours. I agree. Considering that this will be on a much more powerful system, I expect a lot out of this game. I'll still play it regardless, but there's so much more they should do with this game for me to be hype. I'm guessing he said hype instead of
I'm assuming
type.
that.
And what a funny word to have a typo on. No, I'm joking. But it was terrible. Vincent, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I mean, if you're listening. But yeah, I think that's I agree with that. Obviously, for something like this grand scale, I want to at least sink like 80 hours into this thing. Like, and that'd be like the low ball end, as opposed to somebody who like trains the Pokemon like crazy, like, oh, I put 200 hours into this, type of thing. I definitely expect that to be a thing, because I mean, like Vincent said, you're on the Switch now. You can't come incorrect with this. You gotta freaking
unless
play
you're
hardball.
Kirby. If you're Kirby, you can.
Is it Kirby? Watch that video my brother made 2 weeks.
That's just gonna be my thing now. Like, I'm just going to be the guy that like likes Kirby but hates Kirby at the same time.
I like
that.
It.
That's just what I'm gonna do. Like the thing that I lost all will to live for Sonic, and I was like, I'm not doubling down on this. But
Right.
like with Kirby, after I played, and I just got the email this morning that they shipped that game. Whew, expect a Kirby video next week.
Hey, as Blessing said, expect some content.
Yeah, expect some content.
Expect some content. So yeah, that. He also says, keep up the good work, AJ. I disagree. I hate the video. I hate everything you make.
Same.
No, but that's yeah. We totally want to see a freaking massive amount of stuff put into this game, and like you said, the story would be nice. Would you like to see? This is this question that wasn't posted. At least I don't think. What do you feel about dialogue for this Pokemon game? How would you feel about that? Or you feel like they should just keep like text?
I would want dialogue, just because I don't got time to be reading all the time.
Right.
Like, that makes me want to skip through a lot of this stuff. If they want me to care about it, I'd suggest they do dialogue.
I was gonna say like they could pull the whole Breath of the Wild thing, and like this is the first. Let's
but people would hate it so much.
Really? You think
Yes,
so?
because people hate everything that's a big change like that.
Oh man! Then you have those stragglers. I want the Japanese. I don't want to listen to the English.
Yeah,
dub.
I mean that's what it's going to be. It's like, I don't want to listen to people talking my language. I'm just going to play the whole thing in Japananese because I'm a weeb. But no. Yes, I would be down for that.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't really care. Like, I don't really see the thing about it is like, it doesn't matter how bad the voice acting is, it will be infinitely better from whatever you're doing when you read it.
Because just like he said, Vincent said, a story that grabs you, and then what better way to grab you than have some actual people speaking the lines and putting some emotion behind it.
What better way to grab you than to have Ash come into the game and say, "Hey, I'm trying to grab you right now."
Right, exactly. And like you said, they're game free. They can, get whoever they can. There's no excuse. They could literally pay
just
20.
drop that wallet on somebody's desk,
right?
And say, "Yo,
we want you 40 voice actors. Come here. We're gonna pay you this." And
not even pay 803 voice actors to voice every Pokemon, and give them each 20 pages of dialogue. and pay them a $40,000 a year salary.
Yo, really? No,
and they still would be have more money than we'll ever see in our life.
No disrespect. That's some easy money. Being a Pokemon, that's some easy money. I'm sorry, no disrespect to anybody, but that's crazy. I was like, what?
I mean, they probably don't. Realistically, they probably don't pay them that much.
I was gonna say, like,
the best paid Pokemon is probably Pikachu,
right?
And Pikachu probably voices more than just Pikachu.
He said, I net 100,000 a month just by saying Pikachu. I was like,
get rich quick. Just learn how to say Diglett. You know. Like,
you're stupid. Oh, I love it.
You'll never believe how I made $30,000 a year.
You know what? That's interesting. And speaking of interesting, Pasta Rhythm said this is an interesting idea.
Why did we not have these top tier segues?
I know. Great, yo, I'm stamping it. Greatest segue on YouTube. Greatest segues on YouTube.
The only guest that is not like immune to our segues, like for whatever reason, whenever Blessing came on the show and our segues were trash. But when Dan's on the show, it's like we just have the best segues of all time.
I know, it's crazy. Best segues on YouTube, fanatixfour. You heard it here.
I'm putting it in the channel banner.
All right, do it.
No, instead of like podcasts every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, it's going to be the best segues you've ever heard.
I love it. Print it. But anyway, Pasta Rhythm said this is an interesting idea. A lot of people seem to be pondering the idea of a reboot of the series starting in Kanto, and I'm the guy in the background saying no, please no. This would be an excellent middle ground. It doesn't seem likely to me. Though designing 2 regions would be a ton of work. And this is Game Freak's first...
Oh, poor Game Freak. Poor multi-billion-dollar corporation.
I know, just what you said. Game Freak's first foray into HD graphics for the main series. I imagine that Pokemon will remain stagnant for a little while longer until Game Freak gets a handle on developing for the Switch. What?
That's how I like my multi-billion-dollar corporations that have been in the industry for literal decades on training wheels, fam.
Right.
That's how I like them. No, I'm joking.
I like you said earlier, just because they're Game Freak, you know, like you said, it is crazy that people were like, I'm not gonna say he's, you know, I'm gonna say it. You're it's like you're underestimating, you know, I they worked on handhelds for decades, you know.
People underestimate computer engineers
right,
all the time. You know, like Breath of the Wild was Nintendo's first game, like Breath of the Wild. You know, like it didn't take them 7 attempts at a Breath of the Wild to come out with Breath of the Wild. You know, like all they got to do is put on a job posting like, hey, you have experience with open world games? Come teach us about open world games. And then you integrate that person into your team and you have a party.
Right. Game Freak's not dumb, as you said before. They can and Pasta, we're not you know, being like you're stupid.
Like it's weird. Like being on the internet is very strange because people don't understand like our sense of humor and stuff like that, and they think that like because we're like really animated, you know, like last podcast, Parker Lark, he's a really he's in our community a lot, you know, like he's always in the comments. I see him a lot. He thought that I was salty last podcast where I was like, it's probably not a port, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's probably a port, blah, 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 other stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not salty. I just, you know, like I'm animated.
We're exaggerated. We animated. We know we're loud and out there. So it's not like,
yeah, I don't want to be on a podcast and be like, yeah,
like here's what I think.
I don't think that.
I sound like I'm reading, even though I'm not reading anything.
Yeah, it's not anything. Guys, it's fine. You know, like I'm going to be like, what? No, this is stupid. You know, like
because would you guys want to listen to that? Honestly, like fourth wall break. Would you guys want to listen to us just being like, yeah, so that was cool.
See, the thing about it is like being real. Like we're not even like that off air, you know, like
exactly.
we don't we're animated anyway, you know, as far as like when we're just talking on Skype, we're like, I freaking guess, like, you know, like we're all, you know, we're all like, we're not like, what's up guys, I'm the YouTuber 2237 and today we're going to be playing, you know, like we don't do all that, but we're somewhere in the middle, you know, like we're like, hey, yeah, so this is my YouTube video. I'm gonna play Minecraft today. We're gonna find some obsidian, and I'm gonna make a diamond helmet. Like we don't do that.
Like ZZZ, man. We want to listen to that stuff.
So moving on.
Right.
Pokemon. What was the thing? Pokemon Game Freak, Nintendo, and Pokemon Company as a whole, they can do whatever they want to do. Whether or not I think ironically. The thing that's going to stop us from getting a super ambitious game is the fans saying that they don't want one. You know, like that. I think that's the biggest hindrance to that. It has nothing to do with the capabilities of Game Freak, because there's this thing called job boards and hiring sessions, and you know, people get paid to do this sort of thing, and they've gotten paid to do it long before Game Freak was even a thing that existed.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, don't be scared, guys, and don't think that just because it's their first outing to main console, it's gonna be a disaster. Because like, you know, don't do that. Don't think that way. Don't think that
there's always going to be a first time for everything.
Right. Don't think it's gonna be a bad thing.
Some people hit it out of the park their first time. Some people don't.
Right. Exactly. Don't automatically assume.
And I mean, Game Freak is almost always working on like updating their assets and stuff. Like they probably already have a 4K like rendering of Pikachu right now. So like before they even plan to do that, they have a full 4K super HD version of Pikachu just sitting in their folder somewhere.
Right, like none of you guys were like, oh, this is Game Freak's first Pokemon game on the 3DS. Like it's like, you know, and we all loved it, you know, and that's how you should look at this, you know, like every single iteration of handheld, we weren't scared or, you know, hesitant about the first installment of the Pokemon, which one it was.
The only thing that I would say to that, and I know that, like, I just heard the comment in my head, is like Pokemon on 3DS did kind of struggle in terms of like performance, but that was more so because 3DS is a terrible piece of hardware. Yes, I said it. Shots fired. and switches in. Moving on.
But speaking of hearing the comments, we hear you guys' comments in the Discord, and some of you guys have asked a lot of good questions. We're moving on to our Q&A section right now.
You people need to rate us on iTunes.
That's
because
right.
we don't have any more ratings.
Yeah, please,
if
rate
we
us.
Don't get ratings. Nobody will watch this podcast, and then we can't do it anymore. Because why would we do stuff that nobody listens to?
Yeah, rate us.
You want us not to do this anymore? Stop. Is that what you want?
Rate us. Leave a review. Because I mean, aside from like you said, it helps us out, helps us get, you know, search, and people like to see, like, you know, they're like, oh, look at this interesting. It's cool to read what you guys genuinely think. It's cool to see the feedback and let us know that we suck.
They don't even have to be good reviews. If you want to leave a comment,
right? Tell us we suck.
I hate AJ. He's always so mean about all the things that I like, and Kirby is the best game of all time. Hashtag Team Logan. Go for it. That's
the thing that started Team Logan, Team AJ, Team Peanut Butter and Jelly. Anyway, Destruc on, which is he's a regular on the Discord. Shout out to him. Thank you so much for always being engaging. Every time I go on Discord, I see him talking about stuff. But he said, "Excuse me if the questions have been answered. If this has been answered before, but what do you think about Brawl Out? I know Logan doesn't like it. Yeah, so I ask you right here. What do you think about Brawl Out?
I haven't played it because they didn't send me a code, and I'm not buying it. I mean, I just don't want to buy it because I feel like the only thing the only purpose that game serves right now is that there's no Smash Brothers.
Thank you.
The fact that we know that there's Smash Brothers coming is definitely not a thing that I'm buying now.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Some of these questions are broken up in a weird way. I'm so sorry. He said, I personally think it's clunky and feels generic, even without comparing it to Smash. To add a last question, what do you think about what do you think of the devs already working on Brawl Out 2?
Are they?
I was gonna say, are they? Or is this like is
like
a thing?
that's not a smart thing. That you probably don't want to do that,
right?
Because like the only reason why Brawl Out again mattered at all is because there was no Smash Brothers.
Right. Nobody is going to care. Okay, I'm not saying nobody, but a vast majority.
There's gonna be the people, the people that are like, I like Paladins better than Overwatch.
Right,
those are the people that are going to buy Brawl Out over Smash Brothers.
Yeah, and I'm sure those 10 people are going to dwell somewhere. Because like that's exactly what it's like, man. Like you said, like you even said, it's clunky. It just feels so weird it doesn't feel smooth. The movement feels stiff. It's just not a good game apart from Smash. And it's just like, it doesn't have the soul Smash Bros. Does. But yeah, I don't think Brawl Out 2 is a good idea because that's just
put it on the box. Just not a good game. Logan of fanatixfour.
Yeah, it's not a good game. How do you think Olympic esports would work? What genres do you think would have the greatest viewer appeal?
I think. So, did you see this whole Drake thing?
Yeah, I saw it.
I think that kind of proves that yes, very much so. Gaming in the Olympics could work in terms of like viewership at the very least. Right. I don't know whether or not, like, how much merit it has in terms of like this is an Olympic feat. I think that it does take skill to play a lot of like different types of games. Not every game takes skill, but a fair amount of them take skill.
I like how and obviously Drake's great at what he does, and he's like a super mega star and everything, of course. But I like how like some of the headlines I've been seeing, like they're like Drake shattered, like completely forgetting the fact that it's Ninja's. It was Ninja who.
That was Drake's dream. that was definitely Drake's dream.
I mean, it was in terms of like who brought the people there. And I mean, and in a sense, he did break the record. That is true. But I mean, Ninja's that boy at that game, man. He's great.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true.
Right.
And I think he deserves credit for that because I think that's a huge reason why Drake was there in the first place.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But in terms of the record, it's because of Drake.
Oh, definitely.
I think people came there for Drake, stayed there for Drake, but also while they were there, they're like, this guy's pretty good at this game, and they're like subscribed and all that stuff. But and also like it was smart. I'm pretty sure that if they subscribed, they had a better chance of being seen in the chat, or like subscribers appear on the screen or something. I don't know. So a lot of people were subscribing because of that, and also again Drake, like
right.
But yeah, I think that proves that it definitely has merit. People are definitely paying attention to games. And
I don't see why people are so surprised to find out that Drake, a human being, does a human being thing and plays video games. I don't see why people are so surprised at that type of thing. They're like, oh, like Drake plays Fortnite. I mean,
I think it would be more shocking if he played on PC. Like if Drake just had like I mean, he probably does have like a tricked out computer, right? Like not like it's not for games, but he probably does have like a $15,000 computer, like just specced out,
right?
But he's not going to use it for video games, we don't even play computer. Well, you do sometimes because you're a nerd. But
wait, where are we drawing the line of nerdom? Like, come on.
You open Steam, you're a nerd instantly.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Oh shoot.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if he goes that far, but I think that yes, that is proof to me that it will work in that realm. Whether or not it's a sport is a whole nother debate. I don't really have interest in. As far as what genre, I think that's tough because a lot of like the skill based games that people look at are like shooters and stuff like that, and I don't know if they want to put a shooter in the Olympics. Maybe exactly. Rocket League, whatever game it is going to like become like the biggest game in the world if that's the official, like, this is the Olympic game,
Yeah, exactly. Smash. Let's enter, bro. Let's enter.
I was about to say, I'm about to enter. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they do that. Maybe they just look at like, okay, what are the top games on Twitch that aren't like toxic and like they wouldn't have to like change the Olympic rating on TV, like, and just feature them, like have like 3 different tournaments, whereas like it's Smash Brothers and it's Fortnite and it's Rocket League, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So to answer the question, we think obviously fighters would do and Dragon Ball Fighters, but fighting games would do pretty well.
Fighting games. I think shooters would do well, but they would have to be like I said, like a Fortnite.
Like Fortnite.
I don't think something
be that same ilk.
And
have that same viewpoint. But shout out to Drake and Ninja. They need to play me in Smash Brothers because I'd watch them both. But so that's interesting. Good question, by the way. That was interesting. Eric Handley on Discord said, "How do you think Nintendo will add digital movie sales to the eShop at some point?"
I think, did he say how?
Oh no, it's do you? See, sorry. I'm adding words. Yeah, do you think Nintendo will add digital movie sales to the eShop at some point? I mean, have they ever did that before?
No. Well, I mean, not digital, but like the Game Boy Advance had the movie cartridges and like TV shows and stuff like that.
Oh, I remember the PSP tried to do that, but I'm going off on a tangent. Something else.
Yeah, there was no Pokemon on that, so I didn't care. I had the Pokemon on my SP. But I don't know. Maybe I think that's something that they might want to look into if Switch becomes like this huge thing. But at the same time, like not as many people buy movies as just watches them on Netflix. I think that's not really a huge thing as much anyway. Like, when you can just like stream it. I think that's a big thing for Nintendo is like if there's some type of alternative for something that's similar at the very least, they're not willing to like pursue it any further. Okay, we have our movie thing in streaming. Like, okay, we have our like our rewards program and whatever they have. Okay, we have our capture software where like they don't really double down on things like that.
Right.
So I don't know if they would, like, it's not going to be like this Xbox Marketplace sort of situation or PlayStation Store. But I think that maybe, who knows? Maybe for the novelty of having it on a Switch cartridge.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that'd be cool. It depends on. Oh, what if they did freaking Nintendo exclusive movies on there? Like it's like
like their movies.
Right.
Like, what if they did a streaming service? Like, what if their streaming service had like the Super Mario show, Pokemon?
That'd be sweet.
The Mario movie like premiered there exclusively or something.
See that right there. No, idea machine right here. Like that's like this. Dan's right. This podcast, man. It's like we just But yeah, that'd be freaking crazy. Like Nintendo, get us on the phone right now. That's
yes,
crazy.
Get us on the phone. There's a lot more that I can talk to you about than Logan's stupid idea. It's like no joke.
But yeah, that'd be crazy. Because then you'd be like that had that exclusivity. Like you can only watch these here. Like,
yeah, but I mean, like Nintendo's probably going to like sign some type of deal with like Hulu. Like they're going to be like, our movies premiere first on Hulu.
Yeah, true. And freaking Hulu
or Amazon, because they have a deal with Amazon for Pokemon right now.
Yeah, see, freaking then Amazon just freaking grows even further because Nintendo's life. But Falcon on the Discord said, "Guess who's back? Crap. Does that question count? Crap. Does that question count?" Yes, these questions all count.
Yes, they both count. That concludes this episode.
I can't remember if this particular question was addressed or not, but what are your thoughts on crossover games? Ooh, AJ, you made a video about that. Not just like Smash or Marvel vs. Capcom, but like Samus, Fox, and Captain Falcon all cross over in a sci-fi bounty hunter game with elements from each other's respective franchises. I feel like this could bring so many ideas for franchises and possibly spawn new franchises in the future. They could have a Smash Bros. Effect by introducing players into these other games. We've kind of seen things like that with Mario plus Rabbids, the Mario plus Rabbids game, Pokemon
No, we didn't.
Conquest.
That game doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. That game's not a thing.
Pokemon Conquest is another. Putting two franchises that have no business being together and completely making something different and fresh. Zelda plus Fire Emblem, Yoshi and Kirby, things like that. Hashtag Team Waffles, hashtag Team Logan. Also, today is Wednesday. Where's the breakout? Thinking. Okay. Oh, thinking emoji.
First, we semi killed the breakout. I just want to do those. I just want to do those when they matter. I don't want to make them like this weekly thing. It's like if I think a topic is compelling enough, then we'll do a breakout.
I'm gonna go ahead and put myself out there on a limb and actually be honest, because I kind of like, that's true. To be honest, I think it was 1 week. I think like last week or the week before. It was
the week before last week, because I told you that week where I was like, I'm thinking about killing it anyway.
Right? Yeah. It was just because I up my video Tuesday, of course, and then the day after I was like, I forgot to freaking put the breakout up today. Yeah. And I texted you and you're like, yeah, me too. I was like, oh, okay, well, like,
yeah, no, I would have said something. I would have been like, yo, where's the breakout? But I just kind of been lax on that because, again, like, unless it's a topic where it's like, this is definitely like, this is big enough to do something, or just like something that we have a lot of thoughts on, right, that we don't necessarily want to make a whole video about, but it could make a decent video, then yeah, that would be a breakout. But I don't want to like necessarily force them. So it's like, if they happen, they happen.
Yeah, because it's like, you can't always have that golden nugget, type of thing. Sometimes it's just not there. But
yeah, and also the podcasts are doing better in general.
Yeah, like last week. Woo.
Yeah, the whole point of the podcast the breakouts were to kind of be ads for the podcast, and if the podcast is doing better than the ad, there's no point for the ad.
Right.
So we just do them sporadically and when they matter. From now on, anyway. Right. As far as the rest of what you said, I think that would be dope. I want Nintendo games to just be like Marvel movies, where it's just like in the next Nintendo, like in the next Mario, like 3D Mario game, we just see like it's freaking like an abandoned Poe from Ice Climbers, and it's just like that's how we learn about his character, and then that leads to the Ice Climbers game, and then in Ice Climbers, it's like you see like Star Fox crash his ship.
I think that'd be cool because like you said, Nintendo Smash shouldn't be the only game where these franchises are getting together and even having a cameo in a game, like you said, like it shouldn't be this few and far between type of thing. And a lot of them do make sense, like you said, Zelda and Samus and Star Fox or something.
Smash Brothers proves that they can make all of them make sense,
right?
Because like Pikachu and Samus, like that whole story arc in Brawl, that made sense.
That was crazy.
So I think that they could definitely do something like that. I'd be down. Comic books, and again, like the Marvel movies specifically. Well, Marvel and the attempt at the DC movies prove that like you can use bigger properties to raise other ones, like the high tide raises all boats and stuff like that. And Smash Brothers, even Brothers.
Hashtag Team Falcon. Hashtag Rabbids for Smash 5.
Hashtag no, I'm not. This is all the hashtag. Hashtag no, I'm not Team Falcon because he's Team Logan, and you got to be stupid to be that. Hashtag served.
Hashtag burn. Hashtag ouch. No, but do you think? Okay, last question from me to you. Do you think the Rabbids will be in the new Smash game at all?
I think there's a chance that they'll be represented in some way. I don't know if they'll be a character.
I think Ubisoft and Nintendo's relationship is like stronger than ever. Like they're like
that would be so wrong. If Rabbids is a character but Rayman isn't a character, like that would be just jacked up. Because Rayman is like this, like he's like a pseudo icon, like he's like a B tier icon.
Right.
He's like down there with like Crash. No, Crash is like a legit icon, but his games are terrible. Hashtag fight me.
Oh man, the rage.
Crash Bandicoot is just trash. I'm sorry, but
we should make a video about it when the Switch game comes out. And
yeah, I don't see the thing about it is like I pre-ordered that game, but I pre-ordered it because Amazon was having like they had a price error or whatever, and I got it for like $20. I would pay no more than that for that game, and I'm kind of debating canceling it even for $20. Crash Bandicoot is a trash game.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Cause like we've seen so many different like I'm not gonna say so many, but we've seen a lot of like things where Nintendo's like, okay, we have a good relationship with you guys. We're gonna represent your character in Smash, and as like a reward for you. And with Rabbids, man, it did well. And I don't think that'd be out of the realm of possibility for the Rabbids to be in it.
I think we're definitely going to see something from the Rabbids in the game.
Right.
But how much that at the very least, it's going to be a trophy.
Yeah, like maybe a trophy,
not
maybe
an assist trophy, but like a straight up trophy.
Ooh, maybe maybe
we might see an assist trophy though.
Maybe they put the blaster that Mario uses in that game as an item.
That'd be cool. Just swap out like the ray gun for the blaster.
That'd be cool. Actually, you know what? The Rabbids don't need to be in there. Just give us the blaster. They'll live on. That'd be cool. And you know who lives on? Our voices when you listen to this podcast. Thank you so much. We have a blast live from Pennsylvania. It is Saturday night. No, I'm joking now, but we appreciate we appreciate you guys so much for listening every single week whenever you do. Yeah. So thank you guys so much. Did you have any final thoughts for the listeners?
Crash is garbage. That's it.
All right, I look forward to seeing you guys' hate for AJ about Crash. All right, take care, guys.
Take a stand. Crash is trash. Say it with me. Crash is trash.
Hey, if it rhymes, it has some validity to it. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Crash is trash.
Bye.
Bye.